Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by a legendary trainer in Mr. Buddy McGirt and a former 2-weight world champion as well, of course. How are you doing?
Great, and yourself?
I'm very good. Sorry about the long introduction, but you've achieved a lot. So, you're here obviously in the capacity of Dillian Whyte's trainer. Just something I wanted to ask you. You've received a lot of credit over the years for the job you did with Arturo Gatti and how his style changed under you.
Right.
Is it a similar project with Dillian Whyte?
No, it's not a similar project. Dillian, just has to be reminded of certain things and make small corrections. But once you make those corrections, you got to constantly be on them. But it's totally two totally different animals.
What attracted you to working with Dillian Whyte? What was the sell for you?
I always go off vibes when I get around a guy. And when we met, we had good vibes right there.
Similar sense of humor, similar drive.
Yes. And I love this work ethic. We did a couple rounds in the midst. I love this work ethic. And his ability to listen and want to get better.
How much do you admire the fact that he's moved away from his family, and he talks up there about how close he is with his, he keeps his animals as well, and he's taken it somewhere really hot and not the nicest environment to train in that sense.
That goes to show how serious he is, on becoming the best at what he does.
What have you seen from him in the gym so far that stands out for you? What do you admire?
He's, like I said earlier, he's always willing to learn. So when I make corrections, he's like, okay. And he keep trying it over and over and over until he gets it right.
What were the first couple of things, when you first had him in the gym and you watched him doing a couple of rounds, whether on the mitts or on the bag, that you noticed, these are the key things we need to work on?
You got to move your head more. Most guys like a punch, they crack and they think just offense, not defense.
And how's that development going so far?
It's going good, thank God. It's going really good.
What sort of sparring are you able to give him out there? I mean, I imagine you've got plenty in the gym, but do you travel much as well?
We didn't do no sparring. We're going to start sparring now.
For the previous fight as well, for Jermaine Franklin.
I don't remember the guys' names, but we had very good boxing.
Do you give them, when you have guys in for sparring, just generally, not just with Dillian, do you get them to emulate the opponent specifically? No.
No, I get them to be themselves.
Why is that? Because I know a lot of people do sweat.
No one's ever going to fight like your opponent. And you don't know how your opponent's going to fight you. You might expect one thing, but he might do another. But if you get different guys with different styles, you're ready for any and everything.
How much have you admired and respected Anthony Joshua over the years before this fight came about, just as an observer?
Oh, listen, I've always liked Anthony Joshua, And, I still do like him. I got nothing against him. I'm not fighting him, and I respect him. You know what I mean? And I respect the change that he made with Derrick James. I think it's a good fit for him. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that he gave us this opportunity.
Having done this for so long, both as a fighter and a trainer, does it still get your juices flowing? Like when you have to pit your wits against another trainer or another fighter, does that still get you kind of motivated?
Without a doubt. Again, this is what I love about being a trainer. Because now you got to use this. I love using my brain. That's always been my thing since I was a kid.
We talked about AJ. How do you compare him now from this stage of his career to when he fought Dillian the first time and he was unbeaten and younger?
I didn't see the first fight, and I didn't see AJ's last fight. I was there, but I left. So I saw like a couple of rounds. So it's hard to compare. But like I said, I've always liked AJ, and I've always respected him. And like I said, again, I just thank him for giving Dillon this opportunity, giving us this, Team White this opportunity.
Why have you chosen not to watch either the first fight? I can understand because it was so long ago. But why have you not watched his last fight?
Because it was Joshua's last fight. I saw 2 rounds. I saw all I needed to see.
Can you tell us any of what you did see?
No, I can't do that. I'll tell you the night after the fight.
What's the future for Dillian after Joshua, assuming all goes well?
Right now, we just want to focus on August 12th.
But you see this, you and Dillian, as a long-term relationship?
Yes, without a doubt. Even after boxing.
And how's he fitted into the dynamic of the gym generally? Because you've got plenty of other world-class fighters.
They all love him, man. They all come at night because he trains at night. So they all come at night. Callum, Azeez, they all come at night to watch him train. Every night they was in the gym supporting him.
How do you get that kind of camaraderie in the gym? How do you breed it?
Just let it happen. You know what I mean? I don't believe in being around a bunch of a-holes, you know what I mean? If a guy's an asshole, I don't want him around me or the fighters, you know what I mean? No egos. Everybody's fun. Everybody has a good time. We're a team. We're a family.
It's good to hear. Now, you've got Callum Smith in there as well. He's got his own huge fight in August against Artur Beterbiev. How's he looking at the moment? How's he developing under you? It's a few fights now.
Thank God everything is going good. The bus is running on schedule.
How does he compare? You obviously trained his brother as well at one point, Paul Smith.
Yes.
How does he compare in terms of their personalities in the gym?
Callum is quiet, man. If you don't say nothing to Callum, he won't say nothing to you. Paul goes 100 miles. Me and Paul get along because we both talk a lot. Callum, I got to make Callum talk. Like when I get in the car when he picks me up, I do all the talking. I know sometimes he wants to tell me to shut up, but
He's too quiet, so he doesn't.
He's too quiet. Yes, exactly.
And Beterbiev, obviously, scale of the challenge is pretty big, but Callum's a great fighter. He's only lost to Canelo. What does he need to do? Is it making the most of his natural attributes? That important?
I think that, yes, good point, yes. And just got to follow what we've been working on. That's it.
What do you make of Beterbiev? Do you have him as the division number one?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know, I mean, the toughest out there and the best at 175 right now besides Callum.
And what do you make of the ongoing challenge to make Beterbiev against Bivol? Now, you'll say Callum's going to win, so that'll be off the table anyway. But what do you think of it not being made, predominantly because of Beterbiev's nationality?
That I don't know nothing about that. I don't like getting into that. You know, I mean, that's a whole new animal. I don't like talking about that.
Well, let's change tack then. You mentioned a whole new animal, funnily enough. You've recently forged a working relationship with Dan Azeez, someone we know very well on the channel. He's been on our podcast. Great guy. What was it, similar question, what was it that attracted you to him and how did that relationship begin? You know,
I look at guys' work ethics, and I also, when I work with guys, I got to see if we get along, if we vibe. I mean, the guy can have the greatest work ethic, but could be a pain in the ass, or we might not get along. Like, we might get along outside the gym, but we might not get along inside the gym. And you have to get along. I think you got to have that relationship to get the best out of each other. You know, to get the best out of the fighter and the fighter to get the best out of the trainer.
He's got a fight coming up now with Joshua Buatsi. Very important fight, final eliminator, but they're really good friends and have come up together. Yeah. How much of a challenge is that in terms of his mindset?
Well, you know, I can't think for him, so I really don't know, but I just think that you got to understand that, you know, when you have a goal in life and anything, you might come up against your friend or something, but, you know, it's nothing personal, it's business.
How has Dan adapted to life over there in the US?
He loves it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What does he love about it? Is it the food? Is it the environment? What?
The environment, the weather, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, the people are very nice. You know what I mean? And where I live out in Florida, people are nice. And when you know you're a boxer in the town that I live in, you get that double extra royal treatment.
I bet you get mobbed, don't you?
Huh?
I bet you get mobbed by loads of people when you're around.
Oh, I've been in that town for 20 years, so, I mean, everybody knows me, so.
There's not a novelty anymore.
Right, exactly.
Great stuff, buddy. Really appreciate it, and best of luck in the fight.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.